again, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you, and welcome back to another edition of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister T.
Sister Tisha.
Yes, how you feeling tonight, hon? You all right?
Feeling great.
You're looking well, as you
Thank
always do, and I'm glad
You
to have
too.
not only as my co-host, but as my adoring wife, and I'm glad to be your blessed husband. Thank you
That's right.
for all that you do. Listen, we have a lot for you tonight, family. A lot for you tonight, because if you have a man in your family, you got a father, you got a husband, you got a son, you got a nephew, you got a play cousin, you got a neighbor, an in-law, even if your in-laws are outlaws. If you got a man in your family, tonight's program is for you.
Yes.
So gather around. You know how we do. We like to always know where you are viewing from. So we're going to go in the comment section, find out where you are. Ooh, look, there's Honey Thomas. She was in here first. Glad to see you, honey. And sister-in-law, you in here. I see you tonight, Sister Trisha.
Hey, Trisha. Holding it down.
Dallas, Texas. Sister Amina P. Muhammad is here with us. And everybody, and you know she's representing number 11, Boston, Massachusetts. And from Brother Arthur Muhammad in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So many representing everybody. Asia from Detroit, Michigan.
Hey, Asia.
Eric is with us all the way from down in St. Louis. Sister Colleen from New Atlanta, because she's New York, Brooklyn, Atlanta. She's in there. We got it all together. When I said Brooklyn, our guest popped his head up, because we'll talk more about that later. Dave C. is with us tonight from St. Louis and Atlanta. And so all of you who are gathering around, we need you to do some things. And we're going to tell you what we need you to do in just a moment. You know how Sister Tisha, she lays it down. And Sister Honey, I know you're still in Philadelphia, the top of the clock, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. We've got so much to share with you tonight. So everybody call a few friends. There's Sister Deidre. She's from Madison, Alabama. That's right outside of Huntsville, in case you don't know. Just go out 565, head it out. Never mind. But we want to make sure everybody knows that we're here. Brother Elton from Houston, Texas. Everybody, do yourself a favor. Settle in. Get a relaxing beverage and get ready for an informational contact tonight that's going to help you and may save some very important lives. Tisha,
Absolutely.
what kind of housekeeping do we need to do?
All right. Well, like always, assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Wow.
I want to first thank you all for coming on, being a part of the show. Remember, this platform is for you, so make sure you go and tell a friend, right? Bring a friend. Let's all get cozy, have a comfortable, good conversation tonight. What we ask that you do in order to help the platform grow is bounce on over to YouTube. Look for our page, Nothing But the Truth, with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha, and then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the big red subscribe button. We want you to like and share that page as well. And then when you're done, slide on over to Facebook and look for the Facebook page, the same name, Nothing But the Truth, with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Like, share, and subscribe that platform as well. All right? And then come on back and enjoy the show.
All right. All right. And when she speaks, you know we better listen. Hey, there's Brian Battle on the line from Southern Maryland. Good to see you, B-Bat. Always good to see you there. Brother Harold is always, well, you know, Brother Harold. We count on Brother Harold to be here.
We do. We love him.
North Carolina. There's Brother Windsor and Sister Gina Tay from Dallas, Texas.
Hey, Gina.
Always good to see you all when you gather around. We've got a family that's interactive, that's concerned, and that cares. And tonight we've got a guest who's the same way.
Ooh.
I prepare to bring him forward, and we're going to have a lot of information. Everybody get a pad and pen tonight. You're going to need to have it, because this is the thing that can actually give you a message. Somebody said, you know, and Dave C is out there watching. But you know one thing we don't do.
What?
On this show, we don't do no preaching. We don't.
Well, actually,
no.
I mean, you
just tonight, I just want to say one thing. There is a great friend, the greatest friend that any of us ever had, and he said to us that I am come that you may have life, and that more abundantly. So if you want some abundant life, then tonight is your place to be. We want to welcome a guest who the technical introduction of him I'm going to give first, because there are many accolades that you could put by his name, and we could probably talk his whole segment out. But he is our dear brother, Reginald Williams. He's a behavioral health and educator, and health posium creator and host, right? So he does that. But he's also the author of the groundbreaking book, A Marginalized Voice, Devalued, Dismissed, Disenfranchised, and Demonized. That book talks about Black men. He's a candidate for a 2021 NAACP Image Award for the best nonfiction. That's what this book is. A Marginalized Voice boldly addresses the emotional trauma that Black boys face growing up and often bring into their manhood. But let me say a personal word about my brother that's not in the official bio. It's not in the publicity blurb. He's my friend and has been my friend for just about 20 years now, Brother Reggie. I'm getting younger while the rest of y'all do what you do. I want to say he is a stalwart in the Black strengthening of family strengthening community. He's a stalwart in the strong marriage movement. He's a stalwart, he and his wife, Peachy. They're stalwarts in the movement to do things to bring life to people who seemingly had no other choices but death. This is my brother. This is my friend. He matters to me as a man. And not only that, you're looking at the face. When he comes on, you'll be looking at the face of the man. He's the other man from North Carolina and Brooklyn with the killer jump shot. You know the other one.
Who?
Now, it's Michael Jordan's title.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
But our guest tonight is my dear brother and yours, Brother Reginald Williams. Reginald, come on out of that green room. There you are, my brother. Good to have you on the program. How are you tonight, sir?
I am wonderful. Look, this for me is like you think back when you was a kid and you were getting ready to get in the car and go to whoever's family's house because you was gonna play with your cousins, your favorite cousins. This is what this has been like. So, man, I'm just glad to be here. I'm with my cousins, man.
Yeah, you are with the family. We are the cousins. Mm-hmm. And brother, what brings you here tonight, though, is a matter of serious import. And you mentioned in your opening comments that, or before we came on camera, that we are losing our brothers at an alarming rate of speed. We're losing families, and families are losing their heads. And mothers are even losing their sons to dangerous and dramatic conditions that exist in our communities. It's been said, and I know you'll elaborate on it, dear brother, that the most dangerous thing to be in America is a Black man. It's been said that we have a shrinking lifespan, and we were already had the least life expectancy of any major group. I wonder if we can put up that graphic that shows the proof from the CDC. And it's a graphic that you'll look at, and I'm going to tell you something right now. If you look at this, I want you to see it real close. The actual life expectancy of non-Hispanic Black men is the lowest in the country. I'm going to say it again. Black men are an endangered species if you look at the statistics. Now, Brother Reginald, I don't want to deal in alarmism. I don't want to deal in any kind of yellow journalism. I don't want to deal in running around like Chicken Little saying that the sky is falling. But brother, is it true that it's dangerous to be a Black man?
It's actually always been dangerous to be a Black man in America. Once we set foot on the shores of America, she's done all that she can do to diminish us, to devalue us, to demonize us, because they know the strength in who we are. But more importantly, or not more importantly, but that statistic or that graph was so true. We have the lowest life expectancy in America, and oftentimes the data behind that low expectancy is just basically we're dying of chronic illnesses that we actually can control. Diabetes, heart disease. I shared with you earlier, and I'll share with the audience. I had a friend who passed just yesterday, had a brain aneurysm, But the thing is, he was walking around with a blood pressure about 200 over 124. And so there were things that he could have done to help that situation, but for whatever reasons, we didn't choose to, or he didn't choose to. And we have to understand that we are already under attack. We can't be complicit to them trying to do the damage to us that we are.
We can't hear you.
You're muted.
Unmute.
Still muted.
I wonder who muted my mic after I complained about her throwing out my snacks.
I'm not even by you.
And all of a sudden,
Thank you, Allah.
I'm just saying, you know, things happen. But tonight, brother, when you say that it's a complicity that we partake in our own demise, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I mean, we have to call out, we have to call them out, but we have to also call ourselves out, because, you know, healing starts internally. And if we don't recognize what's happening out there and how the enemy is coming to attack us, then, you know, it's, put it this way, Brother Jamil, we don't want to have this thing, the sky is falling and there is no solution to it. The sky may be falling, but there are things that we can do. And a part of those things that we can do in terms of our health is make conscious decisions about what it is that we put in our bodies. Quick story, I had a friend who had a really nice vehicle. And this brother, man, you know, this vehicle's top notch. He makes sure he had the oils in there. He makes sure that the top level gas, it was only from a certain gas station and a certain grade and things of that nature. And one time I called him up and said, brother, how you doing? He wasn't feeling well, you know. I said, okay, cool. You know, we had a conversation. Spoke to him a little bit later on, and he says, you know, brother, I said, brother, how you doing? He said, I'm not doing well. And I knew some of the things that he partaked in terms of his health, right? And so I'm kind of a smart butt. So I said to him, man, how's your car doing? He said, my car is well. I said, okay, cool, right? You know, spoke to him again. He says, man, you know, how you doing, man? I'm not doing too well. So I said, well, man, how's your car doing? He said, my car is doing well. And then he said, bro, why you keep asking me about my car when, you know, I said, because if you take the same kind of care in your body as you do your car, you might not be feeling as bad as you always do.
Wow.
Right.
You know, so we have to recognize that what we put into our systems. We drink coffee because it stimulates us.
Yes.
We take absinthe because it numbs pain. We drink alcohol because it makes us feel good. So we got to know that everything that we put in our body has some type of effect on us, and we have to be more mindful about what it is that we're putting in our body.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we have, again, the people are coming into the comment section. Their questions for Reginald Williams, author, motivational speaker, behavioral health consultant. These are the times that you do it. Honey Thomas from Philadelphia says, you are teaching, Brother Reggie. And
Thank
so
you, honey.
all over this country, people are hearing this message of life. Tisha, did you want to ask anything and jump in here? Because there are a lot of questions I'm sure that come up.
So I don't know, not so much a question. When I was listening to you tell the story about your friend, I was reflecting on myself. And I know we're talking about brothers, but I think it refers to the sisters as well, because we have the same struggles. I know, and most of us know what it is we're supposed to put in our bodies, when we're supposed to, and what we're not supposed to do. But I was listening to you talk, and I'm wondering, why do I put things in my body that I know I'm not supposed to? Like today, I was a little upset or stressed about something, and I woke up this morning and said, I'm not going to break on my little well eating or what have you. But when that stressful moment came, did not, Jamil? I'm gonna let you tell it this one time. But I was in the closet. I think I pulled down some chips, 2 different kind of pretzels, some just I didn't know what I wanted, but I wanted something, and I wasn't even hungry. I was just stressed, and I ate it, and then afterward I felt bad. Then I said, "Oh, my stomach hurt. I shouldn't have ate that." I knew better, but I did it.
Right.
Because it meant like there's a mental disconnect sometimes, right? I think it's more than just taming that stomach, it's taming that stomach up there too.
Absolutely.
It all works together. So
Absolutely.
you can sit there all day and say, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to eat. But it's something, if we're not focused here, not happening.
You make a very good point, because what happens is that, and I need to say to the audience, let them know that I am no dietitian, I am no expert. This is just me telling you from my experience in terms of getting healthy. But a lot of times what we do, people, we compartmentalize. We think that we can, mentally we can do this over here, physically we can do this over here, but everything works in conjunction with one another. And we have to understand it's just one smooth thing. So what we eat has an effect on how we feel, or mentally, how we feel mentally has an effect on our physical, and our physical has an effect on our mental. So the thing is, what we need to be trying to do is we need to try to make sure that we're working on both of those things simultaneously. And I challenge you, sometimes we do know that we're eating, or we know what we're supposed to eat or not supposed to eat, but oftentimes we get fooled, right? So for instance, if, a lot of people take what they consider healthy options. So if you go to, say, for instance, a Chick-fil-A and you get a salad, the salad is a healthy option. But then when you get the dressing that goes with the salad, then that nullifies everything. And you think that you've had a healthy option, but you really didn't, because you nullified it, because the sauce has 3 different sugars in there, and it has sodium in there, and it has sodium, I can't remember the name of it. So sometimes we think that we're eating healthy and we're not eating healthy.
That darn sodium benzoate. That thing.
Sodium benzoate. There you go. Thank you, brother, man.
In there, and it damages you. Let me ask you, how important is it? And I know our time is limited, and we are going to get to the program, because you have an exciting and really promising program coming up just this coming week in the DMV. And so we want to hear all about that. But how important is it for the health of men that we get the right kind of psychological support from our families around us? And if it is not important, how do we handle that? Do we have to handle it all alone? What do you think?
Well, I say this, I've been saying this to brothers as of late, right? We're asking our wives, and we're asking our children, and we're asking people to treat us in a particular way that we don't treat ourselves. We don't give ourselves the value that we're supposed to have, right? And so what, for instance, this intentionally breathing, like we don't even do that, right? Because we're always grinding, and I say grinding is generating resources for the interests and needs of others while denying the interests and needs of ourselves, and so we if we want folk to treat us a little bit better, we have to show them how to treat us by making sure that we make ourselves a priority. And I don't think that we do this. And one of the reasons is that we allow culture, culture from our hood, culture from America, to define who we are, to define what manhood is, tell us to man up. Right. Oftentimes when you're manning up, that means that you're grinding down. Right. A lot of times when people talk about
grinding down,
when I'm grinding, it's like, yo, I'm grinding. Okay, yeah, that sounds real cool. You out there making it happen, but in the process of grinding, that's you're wearing something out. And so we have to have a different concept. We have to change our language. We have to change our paradigms about how we see things, and we need to do this as early as possible. We have to do this from childhood, because brother Frederick Douglass says it's easier to build strong children than fix broken men. Wow. And so what happens is when you at 30, 40, 50 years old, it's going to be hard for the wife or the children to come in and say something to a brother, because he's been living this way for that long. I was on a radio show one time, and a brother called in, and this is what he said to me, and I'm never going to forget it. He says, I'm 62 years old, and I've been waiting all my life to hear what you just said. Now, I don't know what I said.
Wow.
But it bothered me that it took 62 years for this brother to be affirmed.
Wow.
And so we have to begin to first change the paradigm, change the culture. We have to change what manhood is. In other words, when we talk about manhood, we give this one definition, right? Manhood is as unique as the fingerprint that you have, or the grain of hair, each grain of hair that you have. And we have to begin to define that and stop allowing everyone else to define that. And when we do that and we stand in that, then we can teach others how to do it with us.
You are listening to Reginald Williams, author, consultant, behavioral health consultant to be particular, and the author of the book, Marginalized Voices, And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot that we can talk about tonight. I want to welcome to the stream Sister Cheryl Ray joining us from Philadelphia. Also, our dear brother T. Farrell Muhammad with us tonight, all the way from Detroit, Michigan. Please be careful there in that blizzard that you're getting out in Detroit. Now, Brother Reginald, honey, let me defer to you. Is there anything that you wanted to ask about? I don't want to take up all the time, but your question was so brilliant about changing this first.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
It's such an important topic. And family is the cornerstone of everything. So as the sisters, the moms, the daughters, we have to back our men so that they can be successful, so they can help us be successful, right? As a whole unit. This is a community thing. As the women in these men's lives, how do we get behind them and support them, encourage them, push them to want to get healthier and do better without coming across as nagging? Because sometimes it's hard for a man to, especially if it's a hard task for him or something that he's not comfortable doing, it's hard for him to get on the groove. But we're responsible for, we heal through the kitchen with what we feed them.
Absolutely.
So where is our role in this? How do we gently move him how we need him to go without being a nag?
One of the things I would always say is that, and I say this all the time, it's never a woman's responsibility, even a wife, right? It's never a woman's responsibility to kind of heal the man.
Okay.
It's oftentimes it's another brother. So if if you can find a group where there are positive brothers who in that group, these brothers allow each other to be vulnerable, that gets a brother to begin talking and getting out his emotions. And when he does that, he's able to come back to his wife, his family differently, and she is able to impart in him differently. But a lot of times when he already has the scar tissue, one of the, when you have an injury, man, you have surgery, scar tissue builds up, and to break that scar tissue is difficult. And so he has to go through a rehabilitation process, and it's usually with other men, right?
Okay.
And then once he's in that process, he's more vulnerable and apt to be open to the things that his wife has to say. But at the same time, she has to unlearn some things and relearn some things in terms of how to approach him and deal with him, because sometimes the way that our women's, even in love, approach us oftentimes feels
right.
It's an attack, I wish I wrote, it's my quote, but I don't remember it verbatimly. And there's something that goes along like this, and this is talking about mothers and sons. Oftentimes, the love of a mother is the a mother loves her son so much till she hurts him, right?
Yes.
I wish I had the quote that I said, but I was brilliant when I said it. But anyway, sometimes we, as women, you have to unlearn some things and then relearn some things, as we do as well. We all need to unlearn some things and relearn some things.
May I just interject here to say that the same dog that bit our women bit our men.
Wow.
And there is no way for either gender in our community to have escaped the ravages of what produced dysfunction in all of us. We're all dysfunctional in different ways individually, and Black women are often dysfunctional in ways that are unique to Black women, and so it is with Black men. But we are not against anybody else being healthy, but we say that our communities are suffering the most, and therefore they're most in need of the resurrection of our life and our energy and our power as a community. And so that's why we're here. What's going on in the DMV on February 22nd?
So I have a thing called Black Health Posium, and I spell it health, but I spell HEAL capital, and then I have TH small. And because in order for Black men to get healthy, they must first heal, right?
Beautiful.
And let me just give you very quickly, how I even came to doing this again, because I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a health expert in terms of physical health, but in September, I made 4 visits to the ER, was admitted twice for observation. During that time, I had every conceivable test done, and all the tests came back that said that I was okay, right? After September, I probably was in the doctor's office twice a week on average, right? And the doctors kept saying, kept giving me tests and kept giving me tests, and everything was coming back cold. And I finally realized, man, it was anxiety, man, that I was unable to control.
Wow.
I've always had it, but for the first time in my life, I couldn't control it.
Wow.
And it just had me just everywhere. And when I finally figured out what it was, again, I used to tell people that I was a vegetarian for 20 years. But what I realized in this period of time, I wasn't a vegetarian. I was a carbohydratarian, because I was eating more carbohydrates than I was veggies.
Yes.
Wow. So you're talking about starch and things of that nature. And so anyway, I decided to put this together, because what was happening, Brother Jamil, was that brothers was hey man, I'm going through this, and hey, I'm going through that. And just this week, I've had 3 or 4 brothers call me up and tell me about depression issues, right? In addition to having my friend die. And so I always say this about Black men: the cavalry is not coming to save us. We are all that we got. Not to be dismissive of the women in our lives, but we are all that we have. And so I said, although I am not an expert in any of these things, I'm pretty cool in behavioral health, but a lot of times what we eat drives our behavior, right?
Yes.
Sugars that we eat drives our behavior. And so I said, well, let me compile some people who are experts. So I got a brother, Troy Struthers, who's a clinical therapist, who will be talking about the emotional side of this thing. I got brother Greg Hall, who's out of University Hospital Richmond Medical Center in Richmond Heights. And he is a brother who deals with specifically with the men. There's a study that's out there that says that Black men deal, and this probably Black women as well, but this was a study for Black men.
Sure.
Black men deal much better when they have Black doctors.
Okay.
And I have another brother, Ralph Bryant. Ralph Bryant is a brother who has some mental health issues. He's out of Canada. He drove across Canada and he did it for his mental health, and he kind of documented that thing every day. And I followed him for a year in terms of what he was doing. So he's going to come on and he's going to talk about a few things. And we're just going to we have to do better, man, because we're dying of things that we do not have to die from.
Absolutely.
Wow. We're nearing the end of our time with our expert guest this week. And I want to tell you that when you listen to Reginald Williams, you're listening to a man who cares.
Absolutely.
It's interesting, brother, that when you mentioned dealing with anxiety for 20 years, carrying it, but this is the first time you were unable to hold it, to maintain it, to control it. Now, I know you, and it's a funny thing, but if ever there was a dynamo, this man is a constantly in motion, always teaching, always training, always sharing, always giving, and then getting right up to go move somewhere else and do the same thing all over again. He appears to be, and Brother Reginald, please pardon me if I sound crazy when I say this, but he appears to be the epitome of a self-controlled human being and a powerhouse.
Beautiful.
He's saying that even a powerhouse, is that what you're saying, can have anxiety?
Man, the thing about being strong is oftentimes people don't see our scars.
Yes.
And so, I get this thing as I'm successful or I'm strong or I'm whatever. And a lot of times it's just, and then you try to live up to it, right? Because this is what everybody thinks about you. But in your quiet moments, man, you're struggling. You don't know how to get over it. And like I said, it's something I've dealt with, for a long time, but it's the first time that I just wasn't able to control it. And, for a while, I didn't even know what I was going through. And it was until I had to sit down and be intentional about my health. So like now, every morning I get up, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I don't want to, where my life was, I used to get up and get prepared for my day. Now I get up and I get prepared for me. Right.
Go ahead.
By having the meditation, by having the prayer, by doing a little workout, man, it's just me and the quietness of that time, man.
I love that.
I'm going to ask our tech team to please put up the information that we can stay in touch with our brother Reginald Williams. How can we get the book? How can we get to this event? And how can we stay in touch with him to book him for other appearances in our communities? It's essential that we have this. I'm not asking you to repeat what you used to do, Brother Reginald, and become a dynamo and a workaholic again. But I am saying that our communities sorely need what you have to say.
Absolutely.
And let me say this.
Yes.
In the work that I was doing before, that's why I don't like bios, because bios always tell you about what you did, and it's not really about what I did. It's about what I'm going to do moving forward. But
Go ahead.
but in the work that I used to do, it was always kind of programmatic, right? I'm doing this program. Now I want to be about how do I get with folks to build systems that continue to exist even when I'm no longer here. So it's not about building a program. How do I create a system? How do I be a part of a system? A systemic system, just like they create them.
Yes.
You've been listening to my brother, and he'll be back with us. You know, when we have those kinds of guests on this program that you want to see and hear again, I don't mind you going in the chat and say, you know what, I want to hear him again. Yeah. If you want to hear brother again, go back in the chat and just put me or I do or yes or bring him back or something like that, so you can see Brother Reginald's support that is coming to you literally from all around the country. I see St. Louis on, Philadelphia. There's actually Bentonville, Arkansas is on here, believe it or not.
Josie Wales is on here too. I saw her.
The real Josie Wales.
The real Josie Wales.
From West Arlington, Texas. And we got so many different folks with us tonight. And I want to, and look at all the yeses. Me, I do, yes, bring him back. Sister wrote all four of them. She didn't want to get left out. Sister DJ, I do, yes, bring him back. Why? Because awesome. We've got family members.
Yes.
I've got sons and grandsons, and I myself am trying to work it out, Brother Reginald. You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to work it out, brother. And I thank God for my wife, Tisha, because she shares with me the best that she can. And to her credit, she's not a nag.
But you know what?
What
you know? And he said it. I heard him when he said it. That is the sisters. It's not our responsibility, and for what y'all eat, so that we don't have to cook anymore. No, we don't, sisters. We don't have to cook.
No,
I heard it. I just recapped what he said for the sisters.
Tisha, that is not at all. Okay. Nevertheless, my brother's been with us. He gonna be back with us. And so I want you all to give a great greeting and welcome to Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil.
And Sister Tisha.
Thanks, Brother Reggie. Love you, brother.
Love you as well, man. I'm hanging around, though.
All right.
Don't go anywhere. We got more coming up. This is the bottom of the hour now. We have a special message that we need to bring to you. And so we want you to stay tuned for that real quick. Are we ready?
A while ago, we promised you on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha that we would actually give to you those things that give life and make it more abundant for us. So we had a guest on our program who's really not a guest. He's our brother. He's Brother Sean Ali, nutritionist, author, and practitioner of the healing art. We have his books available, and we promised we'd let you know when they were. So we have books like this one, right?
Yes.
A Healthy Me. That's a workbook that you can access for your own library. Mm-hmm. How about this title? This is really something to see, right? The Science of Thought and the Art of Thinking. I think we need to know that, right?
We sure do.
So, Brother Sean Ali's books are available. You can go to the message slot on our spot, right? On our page.
Mm-hmm. Nothing But the Truth.
Nothing But the Truth.
Brother Jamil.
And Sister Tisha. And you can actually connect with Sean Ali and get these books for yourselves.
Right.
I say that you do. It's the best thing you can ever invest in is your own self, your own health, and your own wellness.
That's right.
You agree with that, huh?
I agree, and he's here to help. So visit our page, Nothing But the Truth, with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha, or you can actually go to his page on Facebook as well. But the main thing is just go and connect and get help.
That's right. Assalamu alaikum.
I mean,
yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Right. You do that every time.
Yeah, you do.
All right. So we thank y'all for hanging in there with us. Remember to go visit Brother Sean Ali's page and sign up, order. I think he's on Amazon too, he said. Order his series of books that he has. He has over 33 books, right?
33 total books altogether.
33 books. He is here to help us on our journey to better health. That's
Yes.
our brother, right?
Yes, indeed.
All
And
right.
we welcome all of you to continue to be guests here. We don't want to just sit on a program and talk for the sake of talking. You know, it's cool, but it doesn't save life. It doesn't make life better. We can use this program, not just among those who speak on it, but those who view it and share it. We can use this program to save and enhance life. Because as Brother Reginald pointed out during his segment of the program, he lost a dear friend just yesterday. And sometimes when you lose a dear friend, you need something to give you the rhythm of normal life, to reassure you that God is with you and he stays with you. That's not preaching, that's just one statement. And I want to make sure that we all understand that we help each other and we stay here together. Let me welcome a few more people before Sister Teacher gets to her next segment, but we got a lot more in the place. We got Brother James O. Muhammad from Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, Brother Eric Johnson from St. Louis. We may have said it once, but doggone, we said it again. And we want to make sure that everybody gets welcome back. The original outlaw, Josie Wade. Yeah. From down in Texas, Sister Fatima Akila Muhammad. And wherever you are viewing from, come on in and let us know where you're viewing from, everybody. We want to make sure we get a chance to thank you and welcome you into the show tonight. Brother Odell is with us. Brother Rodney is with us. So many are coming into the room and sharing. And we want to encourage you to do three things. Like the program that you're watching. Share the program that you're watching. Then mosey on over to YouTube and subscribe. Click that red subscribe. That helps to keep this program alive and going. And we got some really good news for you tonight. Yes, Sister Fatima from Detroit, we know that number one is in the house. And so there are many, many words that we could share with you. And tonight, we got to wrap up with some really strong ones. And I wanted to ask you, Tisha, while I had you, I know that I don't get a chance to interview you often, but I do want to ask you a question about, you said some brilliant things in the guest segment of the program tonight. You said some brilliant things about how wives can support their men and females, women can support their men without nagging them. And then you talked about how that support should take shape. Can you elaborate a little bit about that, how that makes itself go?
Well, I was asking what would be the best method, because as the women, we do want to offer the support. We want to assist our men in being the best that they can be without taking over. And sometimes we want that so much, right? It becomes overpowering. And we don't mean for it to be, but we just, certain areas of the marriage, mainly the cooking and the things like that, we take the forefront, right? But sometimes you don't want to be reminded that you should choose the cantaloupe instead of the cherry ice cream or what have you, right? And so it becomes a battle. That wasn't personal to me. I was saying because sometimes you don't take the cherry ice cream, you take the vanilla ice cream. So clearly I wasn't talking about you, but I'm just saying, like, anyway. So I wanted to know, how do we approach that subject without seeming like we're nagging or getting an attitude when we're eating the cantaloupe and you're eating the cherry ice cream and we really want the cherry ice cream? And so
that was a lot of answer to that question. And I appreciate the fact that it was so much answer. We want to welcome also tonight, Sister Bernita Muhammad is with us tonight, all the way from down in Greensboro, North Carolina. And Brother T. Farrell Muhammad issues the best comment of the night to answer your answer. I think we should hear from T. Farrell up in the bubble on the main screen. Just go up with T. Farrell's comment. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Petty LaBelle. We appreciate it very, very much. And so we have all the things that are going. But I tell you, we laugh at our house. I don't know if you can tell, but we laugh. And I think that helps us a lot. And the next time we have Mr. Williams on the show, because he's somewhere around. Maybe he might ease back in after the 45-minute break. But I tell you one thing, laughter helps. Mm-hmm. And I think laughter and the energy and the love and the joy of just laughing with each other. And if it helps, if you marry a lady who's really, really pretty but kind of goofy, that is something that can really help your life. Okay, it'll really like I feel full of energy and vitality. One of my friends called me. He said just today. He said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing fine." He said, "You don't look like it." He said, "You look terrible."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, thank you for your encouragement."
Feel great.
Thank you, for your encouragement. But I want to make sure that I do all that I can. I may never be handsome, but doggone, I'm gonna be healthy, and that's the way we need to look at it. This thing, we got to find a way to keep things moving in this life.
He called me goofy, Kia.
No,
He called me goofy, and it stressed me out, and so I have to eat this chocolate now.
what?
It's your fault. I dropped it. Thank you a lot. He knocked it out of my hand.
Knocked out your hand. It's also possible that we don't have to have gumbo 3 times a week. We don't have to have that special gumbo that only you make 3 times a week. We don't have to do that. But I tell
Just
you,
for those of you who don't know, he wasn't paying attention, and he put the colon cleanse powder in the gumbo instead of the gumbo mix, and is trying to blame it on me. I was out of town.
all right. She said she was out of town, but you left everything in place. Tonight, we have more things to do. Before we leave here tonight, we want to make sure we also update you on some things you've been working on with us to advance the program, to move the show forward, to do some things that are helpful to us all throughout delivering this message. Now, we've got some other guests lined up. We're going to ask Reginald Williams. We're going to ask him. We didn't say anything tonight while he was here, but y'all know we're going to ask him to come back, right? You know that. And so I don't want y'all to tell it all. Don't just get in his box and tell him we're going to ask him. But we're going to ask him to come back because all of you gave the answer, yes, I do, me, or bring him back. One lady put in 4 answers all in the same comment. Yes, I do, me, bring him back. Why? Because we want to live better, healthier, more joyous life. We want to live a life that leads us to our way of deliverance and devotion and progress and service to our people. And so we want to do all the things that we've got to do. Chris, get out of here. And so we want to do all the things that we have to do to make this change a reality in our lives. Yes, ma'am.
If I hurry with the announcements, if we have a little bit of time, can he come back and do at least a closing comment? Answer one more question.
I'll ask him. When we go to break, I'm going to ask him to come back, and we're going to ask him to give us 3 pointers.
Okay.
We're going to ask him to give us 3 things that we can do to help save our own lives or the lives of the men in our family, and then we're going to come back because there's another scientist I have in mind. I'm not going to mention her name, Allison Muhammad, who's going to come back and talk with us about women and women's health, and how we as Black men can help give life, vitality, and energy to our women.
Beautiful.
So that's going to happen here. You don't want to miss Nair. Did I say Nair? But you don't want to miss Nair episode.
Mm-hmm. Nair is the number before 0.
You know what it is. This is all Ebonics mathematics. They know.
It's good. Nair.
But you don't want to miss Nair episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Why? Because we're striving to make sure that we always give you something that you can use. Always some news that you can use. Hon, did you have anything that you wanted to update us on? I'm not trying to let my cars, but is there anything that you want to let us know about?
Yes. Thank you. So everyone, I wanted to bring you an update on where we are on the love donations that we were receiving to help us on our journey to purchasing the Roadcaster. We have met our goal, right? Praise be to Allah. Thank you all for all the love donations that we've received. So this week we will be putting in our order to purchase one Roadcaster and 2 microphones, because y'all made that happen. So Jamil can get one too. 2 microphones, 2 stands, and then 2 sets of cables. And then so hopefully within the next week to 2 weeks, when we come on, we'll be able to do the special effects. We'll be able to sit side by side at our double desk without, hearing the feedback. It's going to be just awesome. So that's the next platform that we're trying to reach. So we do thank you for that. We are continuing to take love donations to our Cash App. Mystery Man. The Cash App is $BroWorks, $BROWORKS. And that's just if you want to bless us with the love donation so that we can keep growing this platform, because there's always something else that we need to purchase. And remember, this is for us. So I want to, no, not just us meaning us, all of us, you too. This is all of our platforms. I want to thank our the people who gave donations. Are we ready?
We stay ready here. We
stay ready. The mystery man. Okay, thank you. So special thanks goes out to Sister Queen Bean, Brother William Muhammad, Brother Jay DeLay, Sister Katrina Muhammad, Brother Tim and Sister Beverly Muhammad, Brother Daryl Rashid Muhammad, Sister Nakia Conley, Sister Shantae Turner, Brother Harold B. Muhammad, Brother Monte Mosley, Sister Tracy Garner, Sister Suzette Muhammad, Sister Sister Regina Ashe, Sister Bronda Muhammad, Sister Denise Lewis, that's my mama, Sister Katina Muhammad, Sister Audrey Muhammad, and Sister Sandra Stevens. Thank you all for making love donations to our efforts to purchase the Roadcaster. We love and appreciate you all. Right?
That's a fact. That is a fact. We want to welcome all of you. And if you're here to do mischief like that, Katina, Jamil finally gets a mic. I don't know why, if we had one, we wasn't going to share it, but I found out through the program, along with all the rest of you, that teacher was going to have a mic, but I wasn't going to have a mic.
Ladies first.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Queen Latifah. But we want to make sure that we give all of you the very best that we can give you. Now, every day when we get together, and we're coming toward that time of the program, I think that Brother Reginald Williams will agree to give us those 3 points in the last few moments. And so we're going to bring him back in just a short while, God willing. But I want to make sure that you all do. Hey, Vivi. Hey, JT. We want to make sure everybody gets a chance to participate in Nothing But the Truth with Brother Camille and Sister Tisha. We want to make sure that you get a chance to share with everyone in your family. And they get a chance to share with the folks in their influence circles. Why? Because a lot of times when you turn on your electronic device, if it's your television, your radio, your computer, you are filled with a constant diet, a nonstop diet of death. We want to make sure that here we share with you that which is full of life.
That's right.
On radio, you can hear. I mean, you saw the Super Bowl show. I know y'all gonna be mad at me about the Super Bowl show, but I'm gonna tell it.
Huh.
Super Bowl show. I love Dr. Dre. Snoop is my man. Mary J. I've been knowing her 11 years. Okay. 11 years. But I'm gonna tell you something. The Super Bowl show gave me some
11 years.
Gave me some pause. It gave me some pause. Why y'all got to put the brothers in prison khakis? To have them do a dance routine. Nobody else wore prison khakis. Why is it that you got to have my sister in them boots? Mary, we love you. We didn't have to see all that. Why is it that your children are all gathered in front of the television for the Super Bowl halftime show, and our brother 50 Cent has to come on and say, I'm just into having sex. I'm not into making love. What is the message that comes to our young people? Is there ever a time when we can give and share life with them? Is there maybe this part of the reason why we're always under stress and under difficulty? Could it be we don't even speak the language of life? Could it be we have begun to call each other out of our names by the worst designations we can possibly find? The N word here and a B word there and an H word there. And before long, we begin to debase our own selves, even the way we refer to ourselves in gender roles. Do you know that every animal in this forest has a male and a female? But only the human being has a man or a woman, a gentleman or a lady, a brother or a sister. Those are characteristics of human refinement. But we keep saying, man, these females do this and females do that. You're referring to your sisters and lowering them to the animal level. You didn't think about it like that. And since we're going to preach, I'm going to give it back to my brother. Can we go back and bring Brother Reginald back? He's got those 3 points. I believe he's got them. Oh, there you are. You didn't leave. You stayed with us in the green room. All right.
All right.
Of course, we had you locked in from the outside, but it's okay. I want to make sure, brother, what are those 3 points?
3 points. The first one is be intentional. Quick story. When George Floyd was murdered, the cry of the people were, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I understood what they were saying, right? I understood that they were paying homage to his last words, his dying words. But I was very upset, or I was disappointed, kind of like you with the halftime show, that was the cry, because words have vibrations and they create energy. And I would have preferred for them to say, we're going to breathe, if we're going to breathe for you. So we have to live our life with intentionality. Okay. And I think that oftentimes we don't do that because we get caught up in the rat race of trying to be whatever, trying to grind, trying to whatever. So the first thing I say is you have to be intentional about what it is that you're doing. The second thing is, I would say, we've got to change our paradigm. Again, a lot of the things that we do as we lack intentionality is we do things and it's not our paradigm, it's someone else's. And working with men for the last 20 years, I often hear about their environment and what happens where they grow up. And I understand how environment impacts, right? You know, you can move from one environment to the other environment. But a lot of times, especially when it comes to food, people will tell me, well, man, you ate that when you grew up. So, yeah, but when I grew up, I didn't have indoor plumbing either. I had an outhouse. I had a wood stove. I ain't trying to go back to that. Right. So we have to change our paradigm, right? What we used to do one time is not impactful for what we do now. And the last thing I'm going to say is, the third thing is, we have to be more intentional about ownership. Now, when I say this, people automatically think about business. Yeah, to some degree it is business. But we have to be ownership about our space. We have to be owners and ownership about our mindset. We have to be owners about how we move about. Having ownership gives voice to our future. And so when we got to go out and grind, I got a young man I'm working with right now. He's a teacher, and then he goes out and he Ubers, right? And he doesn't get a chance, man, just to breathe, we breathe automatically rather than intentionally. So be intentional, change your paradigm, man, and get into ownership. And there's a study that I read recently. I'm not going to be here in 2053, but they say in 2053, the income for Black people will be $0. Wow. And that's because we're moving to an AI type society. So we're going to have to learn how to make money or earn money differently. We're going to have ownership of some things. We're going to have to, you brought up 50 Cent. One of the things that 50 Cent says I agree with, if you ain't making money while you sleep, you ain't making money or earning money. So be intentional, change your paradigm, and become owners.
That's the word.
I love it.
My brother, Reginald Williams. And I tell you, Brother Reginald, to you and to your wife, and I'm calling you Brother Reginald because we're on television in front of people. I refer to him, and I'm going to just go ahead and let it out. My brother has been such a prolific writer on so many subjects and so many times with such great effect. I refer to him as the pen.
The pen.
I call him the pen because he has in his mind the ability to respond verbally to all kinds of phenomena in society and to make it clear. I definitely recommend that you buy the book. Buy the book.
Yes.
I know we're going to put the title of it back up, but I want you to buy the book because it is the thing that can help you read and build a bridge from where you are now to where you need to be. The pen wrote that book.
Yes.
Pen is always, as they say, mightier than the sword.
Can I say this one thing right quick? The book it's in a couple prisons, but one particular prison in South Carolina. One day I was home. I was working. My wife brings me a FedEx envelope, and I look at it, and it's from this prison, right? And I open it up, and I start pulling out letters. Wow. And these are letters from the prisoners, and they're telling me about how this book is impacting their life, and I'm sitting there crying like a baby. And I had just learned that I didn't get the nomination for the NAACP award, so I was kind of ticked off about that. But when I got those brothers' letters, that was all the reward I needed, because I knew that I wrote something that had impacted lives. So it is a great book, and if you don't want to read it, then buy it and send it to somebody else who might.
We're going to put that back in the comments. There it is. How to get the book, how to stay in contact, www.amvonlinestore. That's www.amvonlinestore. To contact Brother Reginald in all social media, go to Seeding to Build. That's SEEDINGTOBUILD. Seeding to Build. Reginald, thank you. The pen is mightier than the sword. Peace, my brother.
Peace. Love you, fam.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Now, brothers and sisters, this is the hour you've been waiting for, when Sister Tisha comes forward and tells us how we can support this broadcast and what we can do. Tisha?
All right, everybody. I just want to thank you again for tuning in to another wonderful podcast, for sharing your time with us, for bringing your good energy. We appreciate you. We love you, and we encourage you to come back and spend some more time with us. Come back and enjoy what Allah has blessed us to build for each other. Bring your talents, bring your ideas, bring your good spirit and good energy. Also, bring a friend. And then remember, before turning off for today, make sure you go ahead to YouTube and subscribe, like, and share the channel, Nothing But the Truth, with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. And then over on Facebook, do the same. Like, share, and subscribe. All right. And then we'll see you again next Thursday, same time, 8 p.m. Central.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
And while we're thanking you, there it is, what she always says, right there at the bottom of the screen.
If you'd like to give a love donation towards our efforts, we'd be glad to receive it at $BroWorks. That's $BroWorks. Any donations we receive will be put to good use towards building this platform. Okay? We thank you. May Allah continue to bless you all.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we needed you tonight more than you might know.
Yes.
We needed to be here with you, and we are glad that you chose to be here with us. Thank you. And we'll see you back here next week. Allah willing, and the creek don't rise.
And the creek don't rise.
We'll see you here next week, Thursday night, 8 o'clock sharp. God willing, peace.
Assalamu alaikum.